Hello everyone, this is Chris Sanderson here, game reviewer extraordinaire, and I have my two compadres.
Hannah, hi.
Alex?
And sadly, you will not be joining us this time. Hopefully things get better for him soon. Just gonna say that much. So anyways, recently the PlayStation 5 had a showcase, showing off their newest games, and came along with that is the new price point that came with it.
Yeah, how much the system is?
The system has been the system's been revealed to cost $500, which I say is a fair price point. I say it's fair. It's not absurd like the PS3 was.
That's for the disc
the disc
version. I think there's also a cheaper
there's
digital
the
version
400 one, which I say that's neat of them to do as well.
Yeah.
So I say that I like the price point more better than what the PS3 was at the time.
Oh my god, on your
$600. Woo, man.
Yeah, that didn't set well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with the next generation of consoles, the game's prices have now jumped up from $60 to $70 now. Now, for most people, $60 was already kind of a steep price.
Yeah, it seems like with every new console, like $10 is added to the...
But not with the PS4, though. PS4 and Xbox One, their price stayed the same as the PS3s did.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. So does that mean... So can we say the $70 price point is justified? So that's what we're going to be talking about today, is the price point justified these days. So let's go and just dive right into it. I think it's probably important if we went to the specs of the PlayStation 5, what it can do.
Yeah.
So
faster loading time.
So Alex, you said you had the specs pulled up, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, go ahead and just read us the specs real quick of like how powerful this so-called of a machine is.
Yeah, just give me a sec. I'm just gonna look at. There we go. Specs. It has an 3.5 gigahertz 8-core Zen 2 based CPU, which is decent. 60 gigabytes of memory. That's also pretty decent. SSD.
Yeah, I heard weren't they bringing up that like the SD card like up a lot, saying like, oh, it's so powerful, it can load things instantly.
Yeah, I think we went over the specs in our discussion as well.
If you guys want to check that out, I'll leave like a little blur box on here you can click on to go check it out.
Yeah.
So we've seen that. We actually see that come into action now with their PS5 games that showed off, especially with Demon Souls. They really showed that off.
I will say that having an SSD is a good choice because they are faster than traditional hard drives.
Like when we saw them show, I think it was it Ratchet and Clank?
Oh yeah, they're jumping.
Seeing them jump from portal to portal like seamlessly.
Oh yeah, definitely. There is a little of a transition there, but it's not very long.
No,
yeah,
and it goes smoothly.
That probably wouldn't be possible on a mechanical hard drive because then you would have to wait for it to load in new stuff. So
so we can
like instant access.
So you would say Ratchet and Clank is not possible. The new Ratchet and Clank's new gameplay mechanics would not really be possible on the PS4.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, really? But is that like really enough to justify the new price to say, oh yeah, we can load things faster?
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't. Here's the thing. I think a lot of people are trying to justify it by saying that the cost of making games have risen, but I don't know. Have they?
Honestly, let's face it. The only thing that's really costing more is the faster loading speeds. Other than that, graphically, the games, just look as good as they would on the PS4, honestly.
Well, I was thinking, like, for it to be justified being 70, like, I feel like it should push, like, the limits of this console. It should run smoothly. There should be a lot in it.
Yeah, but the problem with that, let's face it, not every publisher's going to do that.
So then...
Like EA and Activision, for example.
Yeah, if the stuff that they pump out should really be 50.
Not even that.
If that.
Most major publishers are probably gonna be happy with a game as long as it's good enough. Like if this is good enough to get us some good initial reviews, then we'll just pump it out as it is. The only thing I can see really justifying a $70 price point is if the cost of actually manufacturing discs and actually manufacturing stuff, like if that's actually more expensive now than it used to be. That's the only justification I can see.
Yeah, that's the only way. But I bring this back up to the PS4 because I remember when the PS4 was coming out, people were asking like, "Oh, is the cost of these PS4 games going to go up because quote unquote they are more expensive to make now?" But no, they kept the price the same. It's $60.
I think I have a possible explanation though.
All right, lay it down.
Well, the PS5 has an Ultra HD Blu-ray drive. Does that mean that's a different format from regular Blu-rays? Like, does it actually have more data on them? Because that could explain the high price point if those Blu-rays actually cost more to manufacture than regular Blu-rays.
I wonder, will it have like the ability to not get scratched easy or anything like that?
I think it just holds more data, really.
But let's just say, like, with the games are not loading as fast as we were told. Like, there's still loading screens. There's still parts where the game just, like, stops. Those elevators where they're disguised as loading screens. Like, if we still see that around, would that be enough for us to get, like, angry about that? It's like, wait a second. You promised us there'd be, like, almost, like, no loading screens, and yet we still have them in the game.
I think that also depends if they put a cap on the internet speed that you can.
No, some games are offline. Like Demon Souls, you can play offline. You don't need online. Online portion has nothing to do with the game's loading speed.
Yeah,
what about those
like the upcoming Cyberpunk 2077, you can play that offline. But that will actually be $60. They actually said that game will cost $60.
Yeah.
They aren't doing the $70 price point for that, so it seems. It isn't all games.
Yeah, it isn't all good. It seems to be on the publisher's choice or the developer's choice. And it's really cool that the CD Projekt Red is doing that. That's really cool. They're very gamer-friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably why they're so beloved, and I'm really looking forward to that game. They could easily just charged, $70 like the other publishers are doing for the upgraded version. But they don't. So I was like,
and they're also giving a free upgrade for people to buy it on the PS4. So.
Yeah, it's like, so the question is, okay, so if they could sell Cyberpunk 2077 for $60, which is probably one of the biggest games that's coming out, I believe this year, right? They're not delaying it again because they delayed that sucker like 50 times already.
I think it's probably one of the most hyped games this year.
Oh my god! Jeez, every time that game gets delayed, I can hear the internet crying.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, so it's like, is that really enough? Like, is loading screens, the removal of loading screens, is that enough to justify the price point? Like,
if we have a large amount of games that have extremely minimal loading, then yeah, I agree, I could justify it. But I don't.
But even so, then I would prefer if games like Hana said here is that they need to really push those limits. Really use it to its maximum. Because, let's face it, those sports games are never going to do that.
No, they're copy and paste, and they're even lazy to forget to remove the previous numbers. That's how much that they copy and paste.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
And I think it's deteriorating as time goes on.
Oh, yeah,
their
definitely.
Animations and everything just looks blah.
Yeah, I swear those games get more hideous as time goes on. Yeah, those sports games are a discussion for another time, but
yeah, I don't think that game period should be high priced.
No,
they should go back to PlayStation 1.
So what's that brings the question is like, are PC games going to cost $70 now? Will this affect PC games too?
I haven't heard any news about that. I think the only system I've heard doing this is the PS5.
Well, and also the Xbox One, the Xbox Series X is doing it.
They're also going to do it?
Yeah, they're also doing it as well. They are.
Okay, but I think it's only affecting consoles so far from what I've heard.
That's odd, because PC, as far as I'm aware, is that their PCs are a lot stronger compared to consoles are. Especially, well, if you get the best graphics card. Yeah, potentially, if you get the best graphics card, which does cost a lot of money.
Yeah, there was a meme recently where people said that Nvidia won the console war, so...
Yeah. And it's just like, okay, so wait a second. If the game is going to be... If the console version is cost $70, does that mean that... So the PC version is going to cost $60. Does that mean the PC version has, like, loading screens now, then? Will that?
Oh yeah, that's a thing. Will
Yeah,
they be
like-
able to load it fast?
Yeah, will it be able to load it fast on the PC, or they're going to, but
Yeah,
or purposely sabotage the
That's-
PC version?
that's something interesting because speaking of Cyberpunk, I saw them actually like recommending people installing the game on an SSD because of like how it's designed. Because it's designed to run on SSDs. So if you run it on a regular hard drive, you're gonna have a lot of stuttering and stuff. So I think we're gonna see more games that are made for SSDs and stuff.
I mean, that's cool. Again, loading times. Load times are going to be gone. That mostly gone is what they claim.
Or just flat out faster.
Faster, because like I said, we were using Demon Souls, because I actually played the original Demon Souls, and we walked through the fogs. It took some time. It did take some time. They walked through it slowly, but now he just
especially like open world games like the upcoming Cyberpunk and stuff like GTA. I think is gonna benefit greatly from.
Oh yeah, I remember them showing
running on
doing like a little demo of SpiderMan. They ran SpiderMan on the PS5 and compared it to the PS4 and saying, look how much faster it's loading the world compared to the PS4. In the PS5 version, it was
because
like
in games like that, you need to constantly load in assets as you play the game, and yeah, the speed of the PS5 is going to help immensely with that.
yeah.
Yeah, because that was like one thing. Like if you go into a world and just like stuff slowly is popping in, the way things looks like kind of like PlayStation 1, and then all of a sudden it looks somewhat good out of nowhere.
Yeah, textures pop in.
Yeah.
It's like you still know I'm still on the offense. Like yeah, loading screens are essentially going to be gone almost, but even still, then I don't know if that's really something fair to justify
the price.
Yeah, because let's face it, because they're already like coming out like what now the deluxe versions of these games are going to cost more now. Because deluxe versions of games usually cost $10 more or $20 more, but now they're going to add $20 more to that $70 price point.
I think that's too much.
Yeah, so I think there might be a problem with deluxe games now.
Like, especially like now, out of all times, because the
pandemic
that's going on. A lot of people, need to buy their food, pay the bills, and all that. So money's tight for a lot of people, even more than it ever was. So it's like
the economy isn't that great.
Yeah, so it's like people aren't going to be happy to dish out $70.
Well, it turns out they're happy to dish out $500, considering that the PS5 already like sold out fast.
Well, I mean, it's one thing to order the system, but it's another thing when you have to when you buy games, because there's a lot of games out there and a lot of people want their favorite games.
Yeah.
And they're gonna have to dish out $70.
It kind of brings me back to when I grew up, because I grew up in the early '90s. I was an early gamer, and I remember games being very expensive when I grew up. So you could end up spending a lot of money on a crap game if you didn't know much about it.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably gonna be a risk for people now, because a game could cost $70, but it could be like a broken piece of shit at launch. We've seen that with a lot of recent games.
Yeah, unfinished, unpolished, buggy.
Yeah, and a lot of these games that we see, like again, those sports games, they should not even come close of charging $60 for those. That is insulting, because when you look at that, you're like, there are so many games that I could buy at a cheaper price that looks better, plays better,
has more in it,
has more content, and yet they're still charging $60. And now they're going to say, since it's the PS5 or Xbox Series X version, they're going to charge $70 for the same game.
You get to load up bugs faster.
Oh man, it's just I think it's just going to be a bit of a time to readjust to this or see how this pans out.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
It also depends on developers too. It depends how big the game is as well. Because Miles Morales, for example, I imagine the city is going to probably be maybe slightly bigger than the original game,
or maybe as big,
or as big,
more in it,
or more in it. But like games are like, okay, what?
One thing I want to ask though is, do we know if like physical games are going to be like locked to an account, or if you can actually like resell them? Because that's very important, because if they're gonna cost $70 new, then we need a second-hand market for people who want to save bucks.
Oh yeah, that's where the pre-owned games comes in, where you buy the game pre-owned, but if you buy the digital version of the PlayStation 5, you can't do that.
Yeah, that's the one that's all about it.
That's why probably again it's $100 cheaper, but you have to go with that knowing that hey, if you buy a $70 game on that console, you cannot get your money back. Essentially, you are stuck with that game.
Yeah.
You know one one thing I would like for PlayStation 5 to have is if you own a game already and you didn't need to download it, you have the physical disc that the PlayStation Store picks up, kind of like how Xbox had it, where if you own the disc, you put it in, the shop recognizes that you own it. So if you decide that you wanted to go digital, but you already have a physical copy, it would still let you. That would be a nice feature instead of, now I gotta buy the game a second time if I don't feel like getting up and putting the disc. Yeah, I know it's a business and stuff, but I mean, like, we're talking about, they're gonna be asking $70 from us, plus how expensive the PlayStation is, plus how expensive for a second controller, which is almost as much as a game.
Oh yeah, the controllers cost almost just as much.
Yeah, so it's like, they're not going to be losing any money.
Yeah, they're not going to be losing.
So, there needs to be, I feel, more to the PlayStation 5 that, adds more good value to the system.
Yeah, here's what I
feel like that's one of them that I feel like would be more beneficial instead of like, oh my god, I got to buy it again.
Here's something I want to bring up. Microtransactions have also been infesting these games as well. So, and it's also their excuse for a lot of times, like, oh, it's to cover the price of the game. So if the game has microtransactions, again, you can't really charge $70 for that.
No.
Because
if you're gonna charge $70 and then add microtransactions on top of that, then that's just
too much.
Greedy as fuck.
Yeah, that's what a lot of AAA developers have been doing these days. Saying, oh, the game costs $60. And they're saying, oh, the microtransactions cover the cost, but yet these games have advertisement, DLC, sponsorships, all this other sorts of stuff.
Stuff taken out
so
of the game.
It's obvious that the cost of the game's being covered.
Yeah. And the fact that some companies actually take away bits and pieces of the story and resells it back to you as DLC.
Yeah, just to cover the profits and stuff.
Yeah. Let's face it. I don't think... Actually, when I think about it, the $70 price point is not justified because they're still going to have advertisements, they're still going to use microtransactions, they're still going to have crap tons of DLC in there.
And also, too, all the stuff you have to buy with the PlayStation 5, like I said, another controller, the
accessory,
the camera thing, the VR2 thing, the sensor controllers. Like, when you look at the prices of all those things, they're not cheap.
Yeah, but that's for like Sony alone. Like publishers themselves, like EA, Activision, Capcom, so on.
Yeah, but I'm saying like they're going to make their monies because like why I used an example of this is because certain games may ask or say, oh, you can go from controller, or it's best to use sensor.
Motion controls.
Yeah, motion controls. So it's like, okay, so I gotta
face
get
it, no one likes
now.
not much people likes motion controls.
But I'm just saying, like, certain games may say you could do this, or this is VR only, or VR and controller. Like, depending on how you choose to play, you may need more stuff, and it's just going to be very costly.
Yeah.
If you want to try and get everything for the system, plus the game.
It is very discouraging to have that increase.
Yeah.
It feels almost like you're going to give people a choice, either, save your money for groceries or save your money for a game.
It's like buying a game is becoming an investment.
And
that's a big issue.
Real gamers don't need food.
They live off of air and top ramen. And water.
We live off Monster Energy.
Oh no, that would screw with my stomach if I tried that.
live with that nonstop.
Oh, but it's just not justified. These games have so much accessories and DLCs. It's like I can't. No, not just. There was more. Like if they were like, say, I remember like No Man's Sky, like they were gonna really push like to say like the infinite universe or whatever. Like if they were making like games where you can leave the planet and it smoothly transitions to space, and you can smoothly transition to another planet that are also fully created open worlds, then yeah, I could totally see that. Like say, okay, let me put a better example. Like let's say like if a new Grand Theft Auto 6 came out, Grand Theft Auto 6, and they were going to use the entirety of the United States, all of it.
Yeah.
Then yeah, I could see that being justified because that is a huge ass game.
Yeah. It runs
So
smooth, no
what you're
bugs.
saying is that to justify a $70 price point, we would need some really fucking impressive shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, essentially,
And
yeah.
also, too, no bugs and no giving us parts of a game. Like, giving us unfinished stuff should never cost 70.
Oh yeah, like that Marvel's
that-
Avengers
Just like
game. Jesus
optimized
Christ.
and polished as fuck, and like give us everything
Yeah,
at
bigger-
face value.
bigger
like
sandboxes.
no DLC shit.
Yeah. But let's face it, they're probably still going to do it. They're still going to do it.
Most likely.
Yeah, but then
I
that's
mean,
gonna...
it's proven to work for them. So.
Yeah, it works for them. I don't know why. Why are I swear gamers like do they just love being taken advantage of? I don't know.
I guess so. I've seen people defend these practices for so long. I've been one of them.
Just
So
throw their wallet at them. Just take my money. Get groceries. I have multiple lives. I don't need to eat for a while.
Oh man. Oh. But yeah, things. But Nintendo, like the Nintendo Switch, like those gonna be $60 still, I believe. Those are still gonna be $60.
yeah, they haven't announced any different price points.
Yeah, they haven't announced that yet. I mean, the moment if Nintendo changed their $60 to $70, okay, then I'm gonna say we have a problem.
I would flip my shit if I had to pay $70 for.
Yeah, but like. Okay, so let's like list off type of games that would justify a $70 price point then. Like I already mentioned, like say if Grand Theft Auto 6 was to use the entirety of the United States, then yeah, I would say that's justified. If open worlds are as big, like super as huge, and were polished and not buggy, then yeah, I say those type of games would be justified for its price point.
Yeah.
Totally.
But I don't know about linear type games. Like say
I think MMOs would make a good thing. Like if they were done right, they might be worth $70 with, you know, if the graphics are good and
honestly,
things
MMOs
load
can't
up.
have really great graphics because that would kill their servers and stuff.
But so it would hurt their servers.
Yeah,
but
because
systems won't
the
help.
games because MMO worlds.
I don't know. When I played Guild Wars 2 back in the day, that was a gorgeous game, and it.
Yeah, but we were like compare like MMO games to games that are not MMOs. Those non-MMO games look way better.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Because of course, MMOs have graphical limitations. Because any stronger, it would be too much for to render it because it's already a huge world. That's how like with multiple servers that's also holding these huge ass worlds.
So even the PlayStation 5 can't help it load faster and make it like give it more breathing room.
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
That is a question.
I mean, right now we've recently just got. As a matter of fact, this morning we tried playing a bit of Black Desert Online on the PS4.
Oh my god, laggy.
Yeah, laggy. And if the PS5 does not help that at all, then no, I can't even still say the price points for MMOs are justified then.
I'm curious too, because we found out that they capped, what was it, on the PlayStation 4, that our internet only take like 300?
350, that's the max, capped it.
350? I'm wondering, do they have a cap like that again for PlayStation 5? Or are they going to
I would
leave it
assume
open?
so.
Yeah, because last time I recall, when they didn't cap it and everyone else was like having different speeds, it was like giving everyone like different lags and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's why they capped it, saying 350, which is fine. I guess. I mean, still good enough speed, but yeah. But linear games, I would say no. Still, I would still say linear games should not be $70.
Yeah.
I much as I would probably gonna love Demon Souls, and as fast as the areas are loading, I don't think that's still justified. It's like it's mostly walls you're looking at, so it's Yeah, linear games to me are not worth $70.
I agree.
But yeah, other than that, like, you know, again, if they're big ass games like Grand Theft Auto 6, if that ever comes out, again, I'm not saying that it is coming out, but if it ever does become a thing, then sure.
Yeah.
But now let's take a look at, like, say, the upgrade versions of these games when they port games over. Where they start charging like $60 again for the ports of the games.
Oh, that wouldn't be good.
Like say take Bloodborne for example. It was on the PS4. They ported it over to the PS5. You can buy on the PS5, and they charge $60 for it.
Yeah.
It's because they claim it can load faster and it's graphically improved. Is that enough to charge again? No, they haven't done that. I'm just
wondering if they're gonna do something like that.
Do something like that.
I feel like the more that they try to pull money from people, the more it's gonna make people not, excited to run to a store and get the stuff immediately. They're gonna have to just like take a pause, wait, see if they really want it. So I feel like because they're asking too much, that's gonna make they're gonna deter people.
Shoot, yeah, I know the word you're trying to say, but I just can't think of it right now.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's consumer friendly.
Yes,
kind of thing.
If you guys have anything to add, or do you really feel that $70 is justified for new big game releases? Just leave a comment and let us know what you think, and see you next time.
All right.
Yeah, and hopefully you enjoy this conversation, and thank you for listening to us.
Hopefully next time you will be able to join us.
Yep.
All right. Catch you guys later.
Bye.
See ya.